Good morning, everyone. It's just gone 8 a.m. Indochina time. We're looking at the 15-minute time frame on XAU. We're just having a big run as the Singapore and Shanghai markets open. Already moved up about $12 in just the first minute or two. It's been bearish this morning with the opening of New Zealand, Australia, Tokyo, been moving down, but now looks like it's headed back to higher prices. Which way will it go? Of course, if you follow me, you know this is my trend line strategy. So I'm looking for a break above the red trend line, and then I will go long. But I need for the candle to close above the red trend line. And thus far, it's not doing that. It's falling back down. That was just a fake out, we call it. A pretty good fake out. Oh, good morning, Sean. Yeah, I get a haircut every couple of months. It just becomes too unmanageable. I prefer to have it short. So I just took a short trade on gold. I was a little bit slow to get in there, but with this long wick, it looks to me like it's turning bearish. I'm just taking that based also on the 1 minute chart. I could be wrong, but we'll see. So I went short on this first candle here after we got this, looks like a fake out. Now we have a gravestone doji forming, although that candle is not finished yet. And now it's coming back up, and I'm in a bit of a loss now, but a little bit slow to get in there on that. Let's see how it see if it's going to work out for me. Let me just check that I've got my stop loss in place here. Oh, that's way too much. Took it at 51.53. and take profit. Okay, just had to readjust my stop loss there. So I might have a bit of a tight stop loss. I'm not trading on the trend line strategy. I was watching the 1 minute chart, and based on this long wick that we got here and this push down from the sellers, kind of expecting that we might continue down. We started bearish before Asia and before Singapore and Shanghai opened. We'll see if it works out. I'll put those numbers on the chart here. Where is my, that's 51, 51.63. Yeah, a little bit of a tight stop loss, but that's okay. If it's going to race back up there, I don't want to stay in it very long. And my take profit at 51.43, right on the support line. So a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Let's see if it works out. Normally on the trend line strategy, I would wait for this first candle to close. And if that closes above the red line, then I would go long. And if it closes below the green line, then I would go short. But this trade that I took just now, based on the 1 minute chart with this pushback down from the sellers, looking like it's headed to lower prices. And I took that trade and let me just double check the price. 51, yeah, 51.53. That's where I took the price. And like I said, I got in a little bit slow there. It really looked like it was turning bearish and then quickly popped back up. So we'll see how this works out. How are you doing today, Sean? Does anybody that's watching have a trade open? If you've tuned in today, let me know where you're watching from. It's just gone past 8:12, 8 a.m., 8:12 in the morning, Indo-China time. That's in Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and that would be 7:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now that they're going on daylight savings time in the U.S. Okay, now it's getting back down to my entry point. Let's see. Looking like a gravestone guilty there on the 15-minute chart. Uh-oh, it heard me talking. So I'll put that one up there on 51. That's a $10 stop loss, 100 pips. I don't really want to lose any more than that as I took a trade on the 1-minute chart. If it's not going to work out, then it's not going to work out. Don't want to stay in it too long. And if it does come up and hit that stop loss, then that means it's breaking above my trend line and likely to be headed to higher prices. Another 15 seconds on this candle. Let's see what happens. In just a second, we'll go back and look at yesterday's chart, see what happened. Anybody take a trade yesterday? We had a good session in Wall Street, at least in the open of Wall Street. It was good. Okay, now we got our second 15-minute candle has materialized, starting to move. And I'm now back to my break-even point. If you know what I'm doing here, this is my TP. Sorry, that's my stop loss. That's a short trade. And this is my TP right down here. While this candle starts to play out, let's go back and look at yesterday's chart. Just ignore these white lines here. This is right here was this red candle. This is the opening of Wall Street. That red candle there started out bearish, and they did a sweep, a liquidity sweep, came down, and they took out the Asia low yesterday. And then I got in here on a long trade, so it was good for 45 minutes. Really good trade for 45 minutes. And then it turned bearish again, went sideways, didn't do too much for the rest of the session. But in the beginning of the Wall Street session was quite good. If you just waited patiently for that first candle, and then they did that liquidity sweep, dropped all the way down here, and then immediately turned around, rejected that level, went back up here, and it was a really good run for about 45 minutes, about 35 minutes. After this got up in here, about 35 minutes, a good run. So once you saw that liquidity sweep finished, then you could have taken a long trade and gone back up in there and got good profit. And then it was pretty much done for the rest of the New York session. Did anybody take a trade on gold yesterday? What about you, Sean? You're the only one commenting today so far. And now Singapore and Shanghai just kind of sitting steady, not doing too much. They haven't decided which way to go. Sometimes it takes off, sometimes it doesn't. The first hour might be a little bit sideways. See, the price of oil has jumped up. Yesterday was around $84, $85, and now trading at $91. I haven't checked the news today. I don't know how's the situation with the Middle East. Is it still continuing to escalate? Apparently so. They blocked the Strait of Hormuz. No ships able to get out. They're uh, bombing some of those ships or attacking some of those ships that are trying to get out. So the price of oil back up to 91, got up to $114 last Friday, I believe it was, and then fell back down, but now starting to climb up again. And I assume you guys can hear me okay? Nobody commenting that's coming in? Uh-oh, looks like it wants to go back up now. Let's see if it'll reject this trend line and go back down lower. And moving up towards my stop loss zone. I'm just going to adjust my stop loss a little bit to get it above that wick. That's all. And so having done that, I need to also adjust my take profit so that I have at least a 1-to-1. That would be 51.38, I believe. Yeah, okay. We'll keep that at least a 1-to-1. More of a decent risk to reward ratio. Just wanted to have my stop loss above that wick. So if it goes up there, it's definitely not going to work out. Oh, you're in a buy. Okay, that's cool. You were watching for 51.35. Oh, you were watching for 51.35. Oh yeah, I got it in that before. That's before. That was earlier. 51.35 is right there. That was before Singapore opened, so you were in earlier. Okay, that's cool. It's a good trade, Sean. This candle here, this first one, this is the opening of Tokyo. Sometimes they make a good move, sometimes they don't. Then it was a strong momentum candle here, and you got in at a good price. Well done. We are range trading. This is sideways trading for gold. You can't hold these trades very long. You go back and look at the H4 chart, the 4-hour chart. We're just really in a sideways range. No real direction yet. We had some news last night on the U.S. economy, and it was the CPI, which is the inflation data, and it was a nothing burger. It was absolutely flat. Not good news, not bad news. It was nothing. That's why we didn't get much of a move on the charts at the release of that news. Hardly anything at all. And the reason being, it's expected that inflation is increasing and interest rates will go up on the US dollar, but the news that came out last night was based on the February data last month, and that was before the war started. That was before the war started. So it was like you could say that was old information. And the data that came out was not a reflection of how the situation is now. So next month on the CPI, we might get I expect we'll get a much bigger impact. Inflation seems to be increasing, and that means they will hold the high interest rates on the US dollar, and that's bad for gold. Yeah, Sean, you got in at a good price. I get in, it's too early for me to get up to watch the Tokyo market. I have to get up a couple of hours earlier. Sometimes it's a good move, sometimes it doesn't do anything. But if you're up and you're watching, then you can get in on that good move, that first move when Tokyo opens. And you did that today. Good job. Yeah, I think we might overall, generally, we might start to see lower prices on gold. Not sure, but you see, from yesterday, we got it's pretty bearish from yesterday, so we might start to see lower prices from even the day before. It's really started to move down. And just a couple of weeks ago, we were at 5,000. No, we were at 4,400. 600, $600 lower than than where we are now. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could go to lower prices. Let me just jump over here at the calendar right quick and see if this will show up on my YouTube. We'll jump over to forexfactory.com. Yeah, there we go. The only news we have today is the unemployment claims. That's every Thursday, and this is 1 hour before Wall Street opens. And sometimes that can be a mover and shaker. There wasn't much difference in the forecast from the previous month. They're expected to be about the same, but you never know. Sometimes that can be a big mover. And then tomorrow, Friday, the last day of the week, we have a little bit on the pound, the Canadian employment change, and then some manufacturing data on the U.S. economy, and then Joel's job openings. So yeah, be sure and check forexfactory.com for your local. Be aware of those high impact news items. Boy, it's really not doing anything on this second 15-minute candle. And now we're starting our third candle. In fact, what we have there is a doji on the second 15-minute, a long-legged doji. Totally sideways for the last 15 minutes. Totally sideways. So it might not be until the start of the hour, but I do like that, for me anyway, for my short trade, it's rejected this trend line. It's respected and fell back down from the trend line. So for my short trade, that's a good indication that we might come back down here and I'll get some profit. So don't know where our regular guys are. We normally see Howard and Raj and a few others. Nobody tuning in today. Hmm. So now, coming back down to my entry point there. I'll just put that on the chart here so easy to understand. Really slow moving today, eh? Really slow moving. What did we have yesterday? I think yesterday was more active. This is yesterday, and that's the Tokyo market again there. The opening of Tokyo, and then Singapore and Shanghai didn't do very much at all. Really just went sideways. Kind of getting the same action today. Let's see if it's going to respect my trend line. Trying to come back up a little bit now. Just respecting that trend line A. Expand this chart a little bit. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Not much going on thus far. I expect it might kick into gear one way or the other with the next at the change of the hour. Sometimes it does. That would be 9 o'clock a.m. my time. Sometimes you get a good move one way or the other. But this first hour just seems to be a nothing burger, not much going on at all. So I wish you all the for watching the replay. If you got any comments or inquiries, let me know. I always reply. Wherever you are in the world, have a great day. And I'll see you again next time.